everybody, so this video is inspired by MissJohannaxo. If you were on the internet in like 2007 and you were a young trans girl, you know who MissJohannaxo is. She had a song go viral called Tranny-licious. I've actually been watching her since before she even started music, like the original Envy, Lust, Greed, and Pride. Like when she had a cover of Miley Cyrus's See You Again. Do you remember that, Joanna? And I was like, oh my god, she's getting into doing ballads. Love Together for All Time was one of my favorite songs ever. And then she was like, I'm not doing ballads. I was like, okay. So this look is inspired by this video here. This is her last appearance on YouTube. And if you could believe it, it's 10 years ago. The hair is inspired by this photo, just super big, loose, voluminous curls. Joanna, if you see this, I hope you know how much you shaped so many of our childhoods. I was transitioning at the same time as you, and I think I'm around the same age as you, and we were doing it together like sisters almost in my eyes. So thank you so much for being a trans icon and providing us with some of the best music ever. I played so much of your music that my older brother, knows all the words to one of your songs, and he doesn't fuck with my type of music like that. So I really hope you guys enjoy the video. Thank you so much for watching. It truly means more to me than I can ever put into words. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye!
Okay, everyone, so we're starting out with L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer on the brow and P. Louise Base on the eye. For shadow today, we will be using the e.l.f. Made for Matte Holy Smokes palette. For the silver color, I'll be using the second color in the palette. This is the matte silver color, not the shimmery one that will be going on the lid. This is just the one that we're going to be using to buff into the crease and buff towards the outer perimeter of the eye. For the black, we'll be using the black color in the e.l.f. Holy Smokes palette, which is the last color. For the silver on the lid, I had a lot of questions on my live stream which color this was. This is the Rising Star MUA Emerald City palette, the silver from there. I did some swatches on this, I think later in the video. I showed the 3 shimmers in this palette. It is like to die for beautiful. I really, really recommend that you look into it just because of the beautiful finish. They're so buttery, so I definitely recommend that you check that out at least. So we're using the second from last color here, if I'm not mistaken, in the e.l.f. Holy Smokes palette, and we're just darkening it up a little bit. And I only touched the crease with the second color in the palette. Like, it was very, very minimal. And I more so, I guess, used the second from the last color and the last color. I wanted it to be very smoky, very blackened, but still have that silver gray reflect. For the black base, I find that doing this really gives the eye dimension and depth and makes the black turn as black as possible. I'll be using the P. Louise Bead Black Eye Paint. For the glow on the eye, the shimmer or glitter, whatever you want to call it, I'll be using the P. Louise Your Glowin' Cosmetic Base. I believe these are discontinued. This is a shimmery cosmetic base. I would recommend looking into the Danessa Myricks Color Fix if you are interested in something similar. And then on top of it, I'll be using the MAC Misty Pigment, which I believe I got in high school, which was like 13 years ago. So I don't recommend using something that old. I would never on a client. But anyway, I did on myself. So blending in, I find blending with my fingers to be very useful as well too. So I'll be going ahead and blending in the black and silver together. For eyeliner, we're using the Made by Mitchell Black Milk Liquid Eyeliner. And I'll be curling my lashes and putting on Benefit They're Real Magnetic Mascara. For lashes, I used some custom ones. I have a video on how I make these if you would like to see. And just clean up the edge with Kirkland Costco makeup wipes. Really making sure that that deepest part of that eye is that outer area there, and then blending that out with the second from last color. I did use the lightest color in that palette, the e.l.f. Holy Smokes, on my brow bone. But I didn't use it on my inner corner, I don't think, because what I'll actually be going ahead and doing is carrying the P. Louise Cosmetic Base into my crease, or I'm sorry, into my inner corner, and then down onto my bottom lash line, like Joanna has in the video. Going on to skin here, we are using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. My mom made an order from e.l.f. to buy some lip oil and got like a full size of this. She's like, work, here you go. I'm like, thanks, moms. And then for concealer, we're going into the Juvia's Place I Am Magic, applying that on the forehead, chin, and under eyes, using a Real Techniques beauty sponge on the chin and on the forehead, and then using just my finger under my eyes. I find that this gives a more airbrushed look. Under the eyes, I mean. And I think it's because it's taking off less product, as well as filling in pores and things like that. For foundation, I'm using the L'Oreal True Match Lumi foundation, and what I'll do is I will take this on a foundation brush, and I will just kind of brush it all over the face. It's not looking to be perfect at this moment. Then I'll go ahead and blend out any brush strokes, or maybe one portion doesn't have any foundation on it, so I'll just dab that over with the beauty sponge from Real Techniques, just so that it gives a more skin-like appearance, as opposed to brush down foundation just sitting on top of the skin. I find that when you do brush it first, when you do like kind of smear it all over your face first, as opposed to bouncing it on your face, you get a more even coverage. So that's why I do that. And for, what's it called? Contour, I'll be using the Makeup Revolution Light Cream Bronzer. I don't, if you're familiar with my videos, you know I don't really do much contour. I more so just darken along the perimeter of my face. So I'll be going ahead and doing that. And this is just still, okay, finally pouncing on the beauty sponge from Real Techniques. For blush, I will be using the Made by Mitchell Melon Sorbet Blursh. And that's just going to be going along the cheeks. All along the cheeks, really. I find I like that look. And then I'll put powder over top of it. And then once the liquid has kind of died down, because I did put powder over top of it, and loose powder, things like that, that's when I'll go ahead and use a powder blush in a specific area. Like I won't fan it all the way over the cheeks like I do with my blush. So I find that it gives kind of dimension to the cheek this way. I like the Makeup Revolution Light Cream Bronzer. I find that these are sometimes easier to work with because you just dab your beauty blender in it, or your sponge or whatever, and then go right onto the skin. I find I'm a lot more prone to using more product if I'm using the e.l.f. Halo Glow Contour Wand, I believe it's called. Whenever I use that, I find that there's potential for me to use more than purposeful. So when I have a cream bronzer, I tend to use a more strategic amount, I suppose. For setting the face, I'll be using the MAC Studio Fix powder. And I'll be using the white color under my eye, Shivering White, and I'll be using just my skin color on the rest of my face. I believe is NC15. And that's going to go ahead and deplete the intensity of the blush and the bronzer. For setting the face, I'll be using the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder in the color Light. And I will be applying that all over the face. When it comes to the under eyes, I go ahead and apply it along the hairline and then fan it in under my eye to make sure that there is no cakiness or extra product under my eye. So as you can see there, starting at the hairline and then fanning in under the eye. Setting all over the face after, we want to make sure that there's no sticky parts or still wet parts. So what I'll do is I will drag my fingers across just to make sure that that's the case. If I find any sticky parts or tacky parts, I will take more loose powder and just place them in that area so that there's no more of that irritating sticky foundation that your hair can get stuck in and stuff like that. I don't like that. For blush, I'm using the Sheglam Tangerine Lightweight Matte Blush. And the bronzer is Marc Jacobs Tan-tastic Omega Bronze. I used a touch of Colourpop Flexitarian highlighter on my cheeks. And for setting spray, I used the Creme Shop and Hello Kitty Celebrate Setting and Priming Spray. And I used a fan after to fan that dry. I find if you really spray your face with a lot of setting spray and then use a fan, that's a more effective way to reduce the look of the setting spray, not letting it drip down your face type thing. Oh, also, under my eye, I totally forgot to mention, I used the Made by Mitchell Black Track All Smudge No Budge pencil. And for the shadow that I used the e.l.f. Holy Smokes palette, and I used the color on the very right, which is the black. For the inner corner, like I mentioned, I did go ahead and use that P. Louise cosmetic base along the inner rim of my inner corner. And then I set that with the Misty Pigment by MAC. Be careful not to get these in your eyes. They're very irritating, and I did get them in my eyes multiple times, so I just want to mention that. For lips, we're going into the Crown Case Hot Pink Lip Liner, as well as the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the color Melon. And then for gloss, we're using Fenty Beauty Ruby Milk Gloss Bomb. The hair was very simple. It was just big, loose curls, wand curls with around a 1-inch barrel. You can curl them out direction, like in the out direction or inwards direction. Either way, it'll give that nice, big, voluminous look. Joanna has hers curled in, I believe, or she used rollers. It is dependent on what your preference was. So yeah, I'm just getting that wig laid down, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.